show in town this past week in Boulder was the women's basketball team taking on Arizona State.
And there's a new man leading the women's soccer team on the pitch. We'll tell you about him next.
And we caught up with Carlin Brown to get his thoughts on his return to Utah. CU Sports Mag right now. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CU Sports Mag. I'm David LaRose sitting alongside Andy McDonald.
That's right. After dropping a road contest against Arizona Thursday night in Tucson, the Buffs looked to split their Arizona road trip. They took on the Arizona State Sun Devils in Tempe. Tad Boyle and the Buffs head to Wells Fargo Arena. That's right. It took Colorado nearly 4 minutes to get on the board. Carlin Brown right there. To Nate Tomlinson to Andre Roberson. We'll look at it one more time. Here it is to Roberson down low, and he gets it to go. What would a Colorado highlight be without a high-energy play from Askia Booker? Well, that quota is met. 9 points there for Ski on the night for the Buffs. Brown in the Grand Canyon State filling it up from deep. 2 of 5 from 3. Finally, Austin Dufall and Colorado spins around. See me now. Now you don't. CU goes in the half up 28-21.
Now we move on to the second half, and Spencer Dinwiddie took this game over. He had 15 points, including the step-back three coming off the textbook ball movement around the top of the arc. Then the Buffs had command of the rebound battle, including this offensive board and putback by Default to put CU up by 10. Dinwiddie must have been hanging out with the Rockies recently because he took this shot from Salt River Fields.
At Talking Stick, don't forget.
CU likes to play fast, and you see an example here as Thompson lays it up in transition off an ASU turnover. The leading rebounder in the Pac-12, Andre Roberson, corralled his third offensive rebound of the night, and that's a bucket and a foul. He would convert the three-point play, but was one rebound short of his 16th double-double on the season. Dinwiddie would put this game away late with this layup, capping off his 15-point second-half performance. Buffs win 63-49 to improve to 9-4 in the Pac-12.
That's right. In the Pac-12, looking at those standings, we'll see CU won against Arizona State. Pac-12 standings, California and Washington tied atop the Pac-12 standings, but there's a bunch of teams right below them looking to make a move this next week.
Right, the top of the conference really is pretty cluttered. So taking a look around turnovers cost the women's basketball team the game this past Saturday as they fell to Arizona State, 60-47 at the Coors Event Center. 24 turnovers led to 26 Sun Devil points, and the Buffs were unable to recover from the deficit in time to lose their 8th conference game of the season. Forward Chucky Jeffrey was the only Buff to score double digits in points as she led the way with 10, but the team was out-rebounded 43-25 on the evening. The Buffs mounted a late charge with 3 minutes left to get within 7 points, but never got any closer. The loss drops the Buffs to 16-8 overall and 5-8 in Pac-12 play. Colorado plays just one game this week as they host travel partner Utah this Saturday at the Coors Event Center.
That's right. Looking at those stats right there, Colorado losing unfortunately to the Sun Devils 60-47. Chucky Jeffrey, another big night, double figures for her in points. But don't go anywhere. Coming up next, there will be March Madness in Boulder next season, and we have the details.
And Carlin Brown is returning to Utah on Saturday. We get his thoughts after the break.
CU students who join the Peace Corps are usually very adventurous people, very outdoorsy. They usually are very caring, very passionate people.
For the second year in a row, CU Boulder has outproduced all other universities in the nation, both big and small, in the number of alumni who are serving as Peace Corps volunteers. That's a very, very important thing for us.
Peace Corps continues to be the gold standard for international volunteer service. It's Americans making a difference around the world, and many of those Americans have come from this great university.
I'm not sure if it's a beautiful setting or the mountains or the weather, but one thing's for sure, there's a special civic pride on this campus.
The great spirit of volunteerism here on campus and internationalism that you find here really just kind of brings Peace Corps out a little more than it does on other campuses, I think.
You should be very proud to come from a campus that inspires so much public service and collectively works to build a better world.
That's right. Do I look like a commingled contender to you? All I want is a newspaper.
Why don't you bring that bottle over here? I won't be spitting it back at you.
Alright, boy, why don't you bring that bottle over here to commingle so these boys stop bickering and ruin my night.
After sitting out 1 year due to NCAA transfer rules, senior basketball player Carlin Brown finally got a suit up with the Buffs this season. Now as the Buffs head to Utah on Saturday, SportsMag caught up with Brown to get his feelings on returning to his old stomping grounds.
Another game that we're looking forward to playing, especially on the road, considering our road record is that good. So we need to come out and play like we did against Arizona State. We expect a great challenge from them. You know, they felt they were embarrassed here. Josh, their leading scorer, isn't there, so their dynamic has changed a little bit, but we're going to go in with the same mindset, the same game plan we had here. Obviously, it's a different arena, different environment, but we know the game is still the same. It's still 40 minutes, and we still got to play it to the end. The pieces around me are a bit different from what I had at Utah. The players we have here and the coaching staff, two different systems, two different mindsets of offensive and defensive, ideologies. And as far as the players go, it's a bigger conference here, so we get, some of the better players. And while at the Mountain West, it was a little bit harder for Utah to recruit. So those are the two main differences that I noticed. And obviously, the environment and the crowd is a little bit different as well. It's something we, as players, we feed off of, the energy and the atmosphere. When you get a stop or a block, they go crazy. If you make a big shot or a dunk, they go crazy. So it's something that's good, for us, and it gives us a even better home court advantage, and it makes it tough for, teams to come in here and win. I'm trying to be a winner here. I'm looking forward to these last 5 games, trying to compete for this conference championship, and hopefully, win another 20 games under Coach Boyle and his staff. They've done a great job, but I really want to win a Pac-12 championship, whether it be regular season or the conference tournament, and hang a banner in this arena because, our fans deserve it, the school deserves it, and the Boulder community deserves it because we've been working hard and we've proved a lot of people wrong who, picked us 11th in the beginning of the year, and now we're tied for 2nd. So just trying to make that final push, and hopefully the ball will bounce our way a few stops here along the road and we can win it.
Andre Robertson is known for being a presence on the boards. He averages more than 11 rebounds and 11 points per game. And you probably could have guessed it, he also 11th in career double-doubles at CU. Which brings us to our trivia question. Who has the most double-doubles in CU history? That is, we'll confer that over and we'll show you later in the show.
Front Range College basketball is having a strong season with the University of Colorado, the University of Denver, and Colorado State University all vying for invites to the Big Dance. We want to hear from you. How many teams will make the NCAA tournament from Colorado? The choices are A, 3 teams will make it Rocky Mountain March Madness, 2 teams, B, 2 teams, a huge step for Colorado basketball, and C, 1 team will crack the bracket, or D, no teams, Rocky Mountain Thunder will be silenced in March. Log on to cusportsmag.com to cast your vote.
That should be interesting. I like to see homegrown talent in March, especially in March, and I go with A or B probably right there. All right, after splitting the Arizona road trip this past week, the Buffs are looking to stay atop the crowded Pac-12 standings.
Rose Heafy and Mike Kerner anchor our double team segment with a preview of the Utah game on Saturday.
Thanks, guys. Hi, I'm Rose Heafy, sitting alongside Michael Kerner here at the Double Team set, and we're going to talk a little CU men's basketball here today. Now, they had a tough road loss against the Arizona Wildcats, but then they rebounded with a nice, crushing win over the Arizona State Sun Devils. They got off to a little bit of a slow start, but they were really able to pick up momentum in that second half. And who was CU really able to look at for their leaders in that game?
Yes, like you said, they started off slow, but Spencer Dinwiddie, he matched the Buffs. He had slow, sloppy first half, but he came out strong in the second half. I don't know what Tad Boyle told him at halftime, but he came out big, led the team in points, and he had 15 points. But besides Dinwiddie, Andre Robertson, he had a big game. He had 12 points, 9 rebounds. That's 1 rebound from a double-double. You can't ask for much more than that. And lastly, Austin Dufault. I mean, he's been huge all year. Last year, he was only averaging about 6.5 points per game. Now he's almost double that to 11.5 points. So those players were huge in that game. And although one of our more consistent players this year has been Carlin Brown, but that game he was a little more quiet.
Absolutely. Now, it's great to see the big guys like Andre Robertson and Austin Dufault really step up their game this season. It's good to have those big, tall players down low. Now, as you're talking about with Carlin Brown, now he was scoring in the low 20s, upper teens early on in the season, but lately in the last couple games, he's been struggling a little bit in the low teens point-wise and single digits. Now, going into the postseason, you're going to want more momentum coming out of a strong player like that. And hopefully, against Utah, his old stomping ground, he'll be able to show why he transferred to CU. Exactly. He really needs to step it up.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like this game could be one of those games that turns the season around. Like you said, he started off big, and he hasn't been scoring as many points. And he wants to show Utah that he made the right decision. He shouldn't be there. He should be here at Colorado. And Utah's going to be gunning for him when he's at their place. And this could be the game that turns his career, his season around this year. And if he plays well there, I think he can just coast from there and just keep us going into the Pac-12. But speaking of the Utah game, what do the Buffs need to do, or what do the Buffs need to look for going into that Utah game?
Well, Utah, this is a must-win game because, 1, it's on the road, and 2, Utah is 2-11 in conference. I don't care what team, what school, what sport you play for. 2-11 in conference play is terrible. This is a must-win game. They have to win this game, and they got to pick up that momentum going into the home games that they'll be playing against Stanford and Cal, and then also the away games that they'll have against Oregon State and Oregon. So, this is a must-win game, and they need to pick up that momentum. Now, who are the key players for Utah that they're going to be looking towards for Utah's offense?
Yeah, Utah usually looks at Josh Watkins. He's their lead scorer, but he has recently been dismissed due to a team violation that they dismissed him for. But they're going to have to step up. Jason Washburn's really going to have to step up for Utah. And besides from Jason Washburn, the Buffs are going to have to look for Chris Hines and Cedric Martin. They're their lead three-point shooters. And especially at home, if your three-point shooters get in a rhythm, they start feeling it, they start hitting, draining threes, that can really run the score up real quick and kind of get out of hand. So that's something the Buffs really need to watch out for.
Yeah, they don't want to get that crowd involved. So it'll be definitely an interesting game in Utah on Saturday. When we send it back to the desk, we'll see you next week on Double Team.
Next year, it was announced earlier this week that the University of Colorado has been selected as an opening round site for the 2013 NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship. The Coors Event Center will play host to 4 teams and tournament games between Saturday, March 23rd and Tuesday, March 26th. Colorado has hosted the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship 11 times before, most notably in 1992, when the Coors Event Center hosted the first round matchups as well as regional final. The Pepsi Center will be in downtown Denver, will also be a host for this year's NCAA Women's Final Four.
Coming up next, did CU Student Section make it past the first round of voting for the Best Student Section of the Year award?
That's right. Also, and CU Soccer has a new face at the helm. We'll sit down with him and see what he has in store.
Okay, now a little bit more pace on it.
How dope was that party last night, man? No. Wait, I can't really. You're breaking up.
Lost service.
Yeah, no, and then he shoved me, and I was like, that's not cool. And so I just rocked him, and it was tight.
It was a total dime piece, man. Took her back to my place, had a few drinks, you know what I mean. And after all of that, she told me she had a kid, and I'm not trying to be any part of that right there, you know what I mean?
It was crazy.
Mike Bohn hired John Embry last year to turn the football program around, and now he placed Danny Sanchez in charge of women's soccer. SportsMag met up with the new head man in charge of returning the soccer team to its former success.
It's 6:45 a.m. The season is over 6 months away. Yet the Colorado women's soccer team is grinding to get better.
It's been pretty tough, though, as far as I can remember it. Last year wasn't quite as tough as this.
Early mornings and seemingly endless off-season conditioning isn't anything new to these college athletes. But particularly on this brisk February morning, it feels like a fresh start.
They expect a lot out of us right away, so with a new coach, I think everyone is newly motivated and excited to get going.
The sun that at this hour is just barely peeking over the horizon signals a new day, and inside the bubble, a new era of Colorado women's soccer. After 11 years, Bill Hempen resigned as head coach. He took a program that, prior to his arrival, never had a winning record and led the Buffs to 6 NCAA tournaments. But after 3 consecutive losing seasons and only a single victory in the inaugural Pac-12 conference a year ago, it was time for a change. And promptly in stepped Danny Sanchez.
It's just an exciting time for University of Colorado soccer. So it was just, it was too good to pass up for sure.
Sanchez came to Boulder from the University of Wyoming, where he served as their head coach for 4 years. Prior to that, he turned a Metro State College of Denver program into a Division II national title contender.
It's undeniable he will bring the success here to Colorado. Just if you look at what he's done, he's a really impressive coach and he has a really impressive resume and he knows how to win.
And winning is the only thing on their minds, especially when, in previous years, a victory has been hard to come by.
It's been a great experience, but everyone wants to win, and I think just a new start is something this program needed.
I think we have a plan going forward of being successful. I think right now,
even though the new coach's MO is turning a program around, it won't be easy. In a conference that claims the reigning national champion and has numerous others who are ready and willing to knock Stanford off.
You're starting something new. You're the first piece of it. We want you to be proud.
Just a fresh start. I just feel like it's definitely a positive change for the program.
I know that we're capable of doing more here, and we're just excited to get to work.
Andy McDonald, CU Sports Mag. Get on your feet and start a stampede. The CU student section has reached the national semifinals in the first ever Naismith student section of the year. Voting is open until February 24th, and 8 of the 16 remaining schools will advance to the final round. Fans can vote once a day for the C unit by visiting facebook.com/ILoveCollegeHoops. The winning university will receive $5,000 for its athletic department, plus bragging rights for its student section. The winner will be announced at the start of the men's NCAA basketball tournament.
Another week in the Twitterverse, and we have 3 more CU Sports Mag tweeters of the week. Scotty McKnight, former wide receiver for the Buffs, celebrated his 24th birthday this past week on February 11th. William Whalen, beat writer for BuffScoop.com, tweeted freshman facts highlighting the 2 freshmen, Eskia Booker and Spencer Dinwiddie. And Colorado Student Section has advanced to the Sweet 16 of the Naismith Student Section of the Year Award. Please follow us on Twitter at CU Sports Mag and interact for a chance to be featured on our weekly show.
That's right. You gotta love the Twitter. Twitter's always a good way to interact with fans. The defending national champion ski team hit a rough patch this past weekend at the UAA Seawolf Invitational in Alaska. The Buffs finished in 3rd place. Not too shabby, but this is only the 3rd time in the last 14 meetings that Colorado did not win or come in the runner-up position. Junior Max Lamb appeared to have won the slalom event, but he was later disqualified for unsaid reasons. The women did their part though. 5 skiers placed between 6th and 12th place in the slalom. Coach Richard Ruskos said he thought the meet was a disaster, specifically pointing to the disappointing finish for the men's alpine team. CU's ski team is now preparing for the Rocky Mountain Intercollegiate Ski Association Alpine Qualifiers, a mouthful, next week.
CU Sports Mag's Anton Baru went to the UMC to talk to students about the women's basketball team in this week's Man on the Street.
And Audie Streetman gives us the latest weather update. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Bloom, former CU student, football player, Olympian, and world champion. But most importantly, I'm a forever Buff. which means I'm part of 240,000 students and alums created by the CU Boulder Alumni Association. The University of Colorado will always be something I'm very proud to be a part of. The years that I spent going to school and playing football provided me with some of the best memories of my life. So come join me in creating lifelong CU relationships and explore the Forever Buff program.
Don't be mean. Clean your machine.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back, and Man on the Street's coming up, but men's basketball, always a hot topic here in Boulder.
Right, they got a game in Utah tomorrow. Big game for the Buffs. But Anton Baru, CU Sports Mag, went and got student reaction about the men's basketball season.
Take it away, see what he says.
Hi there, I'm Anton Baru from CU Sports Mag. We're here at the UMC for this installment of Man on the Street, interviewing people about the CU men's basketball season and about the players.
Rodney Stewart. Did you mean basketball in that last question?
Oh dear, I don't know any of the players.
Andre Roberson.
Nate Tomlinson.
Babyface. Arizona State University.
The Oregon game. Can you repeat the question, please?
It was very loud and it was fun. We won, so I could feel the hype.
Last year, when it was our first game after postseason or like normal season, it was just really fun. It was during spring, like right before spring break, and I thought it was really good atmosphere.
It seemed like they were sloppy on their transitions.
I think they need to work on their pick and roll, because when I went to the Oregon game, they didn't do that at all, and Oregon was doing it basically all night.
Nate, like Zach said.
Well, they're all pretty cute.
I probably wouldn't go on a date with basketball players.
let's say. Seems like people here need to brush up on their knowledge of the players, but they're optimistic about CU men's basketball chances heading into the Pac-12 tournament. For CU Sports Mag, I'm Anton Baru. Back to you guys.
CU women's golf team had an impressive finish in the Northrop Grumman Regional Challenge, beating 3 higher-ranked teams and taking 7th overall. The Buffs ended the first round in 11th place before moving up to 6th, then down to 7th in the final round. Senior Emily Talley led the Buffs in round 3 and placed 10th individually. UCLA won the event, Southern California took 2nd, and Pepperdine Waves finished in 3rd. The Buffs will head to New Orleans next week.
That's right, the CU tennis team is perfect against rival CSU, volleying to 26-0 all time. CU started off by securing a doubles point for the first time all season in Boulder, winning all 3 doubles matches. Christina Schlick swept the #1 singles match against her opponent, Torney Arson. The Buffs outpowered the Rams in the entire competition, ultimately finishing with a 6-1 victory. The Buffs improved to 3-2 in the spring season. Colorado will head out to Albuquerque to take on the New Mexico Lobos before returning home to play Northern Colorado and Denver next week.
The women's basketball team won't just be playing for a win this Saturday against Utah. The Buffs will be playing in its annual Play for K game tonight to raise awareness for the fight against breast cancer. Play for K honors the late coach Kay Yao, the former women's basketball head coach of North Carolina State. Yao passed away from breast cancer in 2009. CU will wear a special white jersey with pink trim along with pink shoes. Fans are also encouraged to wear pink to the game. The first 2,000 fans in attendance will receive a free pink CU basketball t-shirt.
That's right. Have you been thinking long and hard about that trivia question? I know I have. In case you forgot, here it is one more time. Who has the most double-doubles in CU basketball history? And the answer, Stampede, one more time, Shawn Vandiver, who recorded 57 double-doubles in his career at CU. Vandiver played for CU from 1988 through 1991.
It's been very cold this past week here in Boulder.
That is right, and we'll get a look at that weather, but I'm hoping for a little snow. What about you, David?
I'm tired of the snow. I'm ready for it to be done. My car doesn't really have that great a four-wheel drive, so it sometimes spins in the snow. But
it's baseball season already. I can smell it. Rockies report to pitchers and catchers report to spring training on Sunday. And
at Salt River Fields.
Salt River Fields, that's right. But here in Boulder, we'll give you a look at the weather, and Audie Streetman does that for us. Take it away.
Thanks, guys. We have some really great weather to look forward to this weekend. Lots of mild temperatures. If we want to take a look at our 4-day forecast, you can see Friday through to Sunday and Monday. We have some partially cloudy skies, highs in the mid to upper 30s, lows ranging from 7 to 12 degrees. We'll see some sunshine on Sunday, which is pretty nice. A really nice mild weekend, especially if you're trying to look to go up to the mountains for some skiing. Keystone, they have 4 runs and 5 lifts open. Saturday, we'll see some partially cloudy skies, a high of 32 degrees. And then on Sunday, we'll see some more clouds coming in. We have a 10 to 20% chance of snow, so some extra powder to get some last-minute runs in before the weekend's over. Also, another exciting thing going on this weekend, the CU men's basketball team is taking on the Utah Utes in Salt Lake City. Tip-off is at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. 49 degrees as a high. We'll see some partially cloudy skies. Great basketball weather, especially for our men's basketball team. I'm really excited to see how they do in this game. But otherwise, we have a really mild, great weekend to look forward to. Lots of great temperatures if you want to get outside and enjoy the weather.
All right. Well, thanks, Audie. I mean, a little warmer. I'd prefer a little warmer. I know you would.
The lows, man. I saw it in single digits.
I know. You definitely want to bundle up if you're going to be outside for sure. So.
Oh, man, good thing we don't have to go far for that men's basketball game.
That's right. Sit on the denim couch.
Oh, boy.
And it'll be especially interesting, too, looking at Carlin Brown, a former player for Utah. He's going to be playing against his former team. So look forward to see how that turns out for the Buffs.
That's right. Carlin Brown, he's had some highlights for Utah, but it's going to be it's going to be exciting. Buffs aren't very good on the road, but who knows? Anything can happen. They're playing better.
He had an up and down season. Let's see if he can get it going at Utah tomorrow. But that's it for CU Sports Mag. Andy McDonald, Audie Streetman, I'm David LaRose, and we'll catch you next week.